Hi everyone, so today we're going to make a recipe for the slow cooker that involves using pork chops. It's very quick, very easy, and it tastes delicious. So the ingredients that you will need are as follows. You will need some boneless pork loin chops that are thinly cut, such as these. I would suggest getting a big pack because you'll need a lot. And since they're so thin, you could actually have about 2 or 3 per serving. So it depends on how big your family is. So you need that, which you will trim the fat off of. You will also need an onion, which I have 2 small onions or 1 large onion that will be chopped up. You will also need paprika, which you will need about 1/8 of a cup of paprika. You don't want to use too much, just a little bit goes a long way. You will also need sauerkraut, not this much. This is just my container of sauerkraut. So you'll need a little bit of sauerkraut, you can eyeball it. And you will need to use 2 cups of water for your slow cooker. So I'm going to go ahead and chop off all of the excess fat that are on the pork chops to make them leaner, and then I will see you in a few. Okay, so I already took off all of the fat. I trimmed off the fat, obviously off the pork chops, so that's what it looks like. I stacked them up right there. Next thing I'm going to do before I chop up the onion is I'm going to go ahead and take the 2 cups of water, and I'm going to add it to my crock pot that I have here, because you kind of want to have where the water is warm. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I like to do that. So I'm going to add the 2 cups of water to that, and while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and add the paprika to it. So this is a 1/4 cup that I have, because I don't have an 1/8, so I just did about half of that, eyeball it, and then I'm going to put it in there. And then I'm just going to turn on the crock pot to, I guess, high for a little while, just to warm it up, while I go ahead and chop up the onion, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm done chopping up the onions. What I did was I put them in like these ring kind of form, so that way it goes, you know, like it cooks better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my ingredients to the crock pot. So what I usually do is I will layer some of the onions on the bottom of the crock pot. So I'm going to put some in there. You could add as much onion or as little onion as you want. It's all up to you, what you feel like having. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add the pork chops into here. Now I have a small crock pot, but if you have a bigger crock pot, that'll be better. But it seems to work out. You could always add more water, but I usually suggest just 2 cups. This is the paprika and the onions and the sauerkraut are going to flavor the meat while it's cooking. You could also brown or sear these pork chops before you put them in here, which I used to do, but to me it doesn't seem to make a difference with the taste, so I kind of skipped that step. So if you want to caramelize them by doing that, by searing them, that would work too. So now I'm going to add more of the onions. I guess we'll throw in, it is quite a bit, but it'll all melt down. You know, you can mix it up. As it starts to cook, it'll get mixed up a little bit better. And I'm going to, of course, add sauerkraut. You don't have to add a lot. So what I'm going to do is just eyeball it. And also, if you don't like the taste of the sauerkraut, like when it's really sour, you can actually rinse it in a colander before you decide to add it here into the crock pot. You don't have to just add it directly from the sauerkraut container or bag. We just want to add enough to flavor it. I would say if you're using like a can of sauerkraut, I would probably suggest maybe half a can to 3/4, I guess, if you're using a lot of, if you're making a big batch. So I'm just going to stir that up. Of course, you could add it into here however which way makes it easier for you. It doesn't really matter. Once it starts cooking and getting tender, it'll blend better. So I'll probably come back in a couple of hours just to show you exactly what I mean by that. So I have it on high. And right now it's almost 3 o'clock, which is kind of late to be making this, but it only needs a couple hours. It could be ready by even 6, 7 o'clock. It doesn't matter. Alright, so I'll come back in a little while to show you how it's going. It has been about 4 hours that it is cooking in the slow cooker, and this is how it looks after 4 hours. So you can go ahead and eat it at this point or wait longer. So I'm probably going to wait longer while I make something to go with it. But that's how it should look. Give it a try. Hope you enjoy it. Bye.